Welcome back, traders. This is Sandra with Trading Made Simple, and today I want to talk to you about the volume profile. What is all about this volume profile and point of control, and why is it so important to traders? That's what we're going to talk about. If you like this type of content, please subscribe, like, and share. I really do appreciate your support. And it gets the algos going so other people can find these videos. All right. So the first thing you're going to notice is that I've customized, this is a ThinkorSwim, and I've customized my volume profile, and I'm going to include the special script in the description below. And so you'll be able to have your volume profile on your chart just like this, because you'll notice that ThinkorSwim's default volume profile is very unattractive and is just not really as good as this custom adjustment to it. But it's just basically an adjustment. It's not that special, actually. I was just able to figure it out. And by doing so, though, you can now look at the chart, and we're on a day chart of Tesla. And now we can take a look at Tesla. And we can see big institutions placing their, and they have to do it, when they're placing their money into a trade, they do not want to rock the boat all that much. What they do is they put it in increments because those institutions are so large. So let's just say you had the 10 biggest banks, and what they do is they don't move their money all at one time. They have to do it slowly. And so when they do that is when you can see a volume profile shelf. And that's what we call these gray areas right here. This is a shelf, this is a shelf, and so is this one. And so when you just look at those areas, you can see where support and resistance is, because that is actually where people put their money. That money has created a shelf. That shelf is support and resistance. When you have a visual tool in front of you, like the volume profile, it helps you as a trader because then you can identify, even on a daily chart, where the breakout is in Tesla. So when it breaks actually, and what ends up happening is when all this money is in here for a long period of time, this is March, okay? This is March. And so this money is just going in and going in and going in, and then all of a sudden there's enough money to change the direction of the wave or the speeding bus. And now all of a sudden it breaks a resistance level. And then now you can see where this went. So this reaches actually, and look at how it reaches the very, very top of this gray area, just showing you where the money flow is. No one put any money above this area. So it stops, the buck stops here literally. And then it starts to move down and then makes a lower high and a lower low. Comes up to almost challenge it. You could almost say it's a double top, and then comes down to a lower low. And so now all of a sudden we've broken back into the, that was once resistance. It then becomes support, and then it breaks through, and now here we are. Now this red line that's in here is actually considered the point of control. So if the red line in the middle here is point of control, the top part is the volume average that's above and the volume average that's below. So it's kind of a clear indication. Could you move this, let's say you were day trading Tesla. Let's take a look at that for a moment. Could you utilize this to do that with the volume profile? And you can. And so what that does, it just allows you to understand that let me put it in another way. All this dark gray area, this is institutions putting their money in. They're placing their trade bets, is how I want to describe it. And we don't know if the trade bet is to go higher, if they bet calls, or if they bet puts. We don't know it until it actually creates a trend. So you have the consolidation. We don't know where the bet's going, but as soon as it breaks the average low, then we know that primarily those bets that came before it was puts. So you utilize, and I want to talk about point of control, because when people talk about the volume profile, it used to kind of confuse me, because old school is support and resistance, and what the volume profile does is this is support and resistance. It's support and resistance though, and it's based on institution buying or selling. And how do we know that? Well, it's common knowledge that the retail trader only accounts for about 3.5% of the total volume of the stock market. So if that's the case, then all this money that you see here, this is all big institutions with millions and billions of dollars, and they have to trickle their money in. And when I say trickle, I mean millions. So when we see data from flow data, analytical data that's coming in from the smart money, the unusual volume, when we look at that information, we need to recognize that those movements don't happen right away. So if that's the case, and you get an alert from the algos, or from anyone actually, I want you to put this up on your screen if you're just learning about support and resistance, because now really the technology is about not only are you looking at the trend and you're looking at support and resistance, but now you're looking at volume. And who creates volume in the market? The big institutions create volume. So back in the day when we were doing trend trading, we were just looking at price and time. And now with the tracking of institutional buying and selling, we can now identify volume from the big institutions, price and time. So that added additional information is worth noting. So now when you see information coming in, you're not going to react to it like toot sweet. You're gonna look at your chart. You're gonna now go, oh, okay, now I can see why the dark pools or the $1 million sweeps are coming in. And now what you're going to do is create a watch list from that, because now you're more aware. You're not just looking at 5 or 10 symbols right now that may or may not be what the institutions are buying or selling. So now when you look at data flow, you're really then looking at institutions showing you where they're putting their money. And then by doing that, you can then choose, right, from this list of information that you get daily, real-time info. You can then create a list of the most liquid stocks that you like, right? Because if we're option traders, we like to go into a very, typically a very liquid market. We want to be able to get in and out very quickly, and we really don't like the spreads to be all that wide, right? So when you take that information, you start looking at the stock, you then go into, the trade tab, you look at the volume, and, this is a great example. Google's a great example in this, because when you look at Google, like, who doesn't want to trade Google? Well, until you actually trade it, then you're like, well, I don't know if I really want to trade it. And the reason is sure, it's got 1 million, but look, well, shoot, you can't see it here. Let me see. You know, it's after hours, unfortunately. Let me just see if I can. Well, it's only actually showing a $2 spread, which is super narrow comparably. Tomorrow, or when you get an opportunity after you've seen this video, please go to your trade tab on Google and look at the spread. The spread is so wide that this is really, difficult to trade unless you really know what direction it's going to be going, because it's so wide. And when it's that wide, and if it goes against you, or you got into early, or you got into late, etc., then what ends up happening is you actually, end up losing, even though maybe the stock price is still kind of in the same general area that you bought it in, because the spread is so wide. And so that's not good, right? So this is what volume profile is. This is point of control. So in my last video, I introduced you to our Discord community that we now have that's totally focused on AI and technology, real-time analytics that's coming through, easy to read, easy to understand, and easy to follow. And what are you going to do with that information? Just jump in as soon as you get an alert from the algo, the robot, that says, hey, there's a lot of flow going into this? No, I don't want you to do that. That would not be my recommendation. I would rather, only because I have some experience in this, I've already made my mistakes, and I don't want you to do it. I would rather you take a look at point of control. You put this on your chart, and you see where what your trading time frame is. If it's just a day trade, then you're going on a 5-minute chart and taking a look at it. If you're doing an intraday trade, you can look at a 15-minute and or a 1 hour for a longer period of time. But it's very important for you. And look at how clear this is. Could you not utilize this in your day trading? And so I have a Heikin-Ashi candle set on. You just go right up here to your gear settings and go to appearance, and you can pick the candle that you choose. But smoothing that out, is helpful so that you're not reacting to every single candle, but it kind of keeps you in a trend a little longer. And so now, not only are you identifying the trend in a candle pattern via red and green, but you're also now looking at, you can visually see the volume profile. And you can, see it on every time frame. So now, this is a better identifier than this is, but you have to get used to the tool set that you're using. So if I would definitely recommend that you use this and practice with it, and let me know if you have any questions. I'm available. So I hope this makes you some money or saves you some money. I hope you come over to the Discord and check it out. We have a free area as well as the premium AI tools. And that'll be in the description below. And we'll see you in the next video.